If mind penetrates into the object, sink into the object, only then our mind will be protected, well protected. At the time, there will no chance to arise the defilements in our mind stream. So this is the nature, characteristics of the sati. So if we move on the function of the sati, in Pali it is called asammosa rasa. I repeat, asammosa rasa means non-forgetfulness is the function of the sati. This means the noting and observing mind should neither lose sight of, nor miss, nor forget, nor allow the object of observation to disappear. The function of the sati is to keep the object always in view. For example, while we are observing rising and falling, if sati is present, then the rising and falling object, we will never lose it, we will never miss it, we will never forget it. The rising and falling will be always in view. Not only rising and falling, all the presently arising objects. Mindfulness keep in view. Just as a footballer never loses the sight of the football. A footballer always keep the football in view. A badminton player, the shuttlecock, never lose the sight of the shuttlecock. Similarly, a boxer never lose the sight of the opponent's movements. Similarly, a meditator, a yogi, who has good mindfulness never loses the object of observation. So that is why we should never lose the sight of the object of mindfulness while we are practicing meditation. Whether we are practicing sitting meditation, whether we are practicing walking meditation, we should never lose the sight of the object. If we are observing rising and falling, then sight of the rising and falling. If we are observing the mental objects, then sight of the mental objects. If we are observing pain, unpleasant sensations, bodily sensation, then we should not lose the sight of the unpleasant sensation. We should always keep in view those objects. So what we can understand from this function is, if we are not losing the sight of the object at that time, we can say that mindfulness is present at the time. And it also us or inspire us that keep the object always in view, keep the object always in view, never lose the object, never forget the object. If you miss or if you forget, then sati is not present at that time. If you are not losing, you are not missing, not forgetting, then that means mindfulness is present at that time. So in this way, when we try to keep the object in view repeatedly, what happens means we realize that the object and the observing mind looks face to face. And that is the manifestation of the sati. Manifestation means the way of demonstration, how the yogi realized that mindfulness is present is the face-to-face. The sati has the mind manifestation of confrontation. It sees the mind directly face-to-face with the object. So that is the manifestation of the sati. So as the yogis develop the mindfulness, the yogis realize that the observing mind and the object is face to face to each other. If observing rising and falling, then face to face. If observing the mental object, face to face. If observing sensations, bodily sensations, face to face. So in this way, sati sets the mind directly face to face with the object of observation. Yogis do not realize only the confrontation of the sati, but also realize the guardianship or the protection of the mind also, being free from the attack by the kilesas. Since mindfulness is present, since mindfulness is observing the every presently arising object, so due to the presence of the mindfulness, yogis or the meditators realize the purity of the mind as well. Sati is likened to a doorkeeper because it guards the six sense doors. A doorkeeper does not admit bad or the destructive or useless people. He admits only good and useful people. Similarly, sati does not admit unwholesomeness or kilesas. It admits only wholesomeness, kusala, wholesomeness, non-polluted mentalities, not accepting akusala. So the mind is well protected. So the guardianship or the protection is the second manifestation of the sati. Yogis, meditators realize by themselves that mind is being protected from the attack of the kilesas, not presence or absence of the kilesas while observing the object. So yogi realized that mind is safe and secured. Just imagine while we are observing rising and falling, observing, noting, rising as rising, falling as falling. While mindfulness, good mindfulness is present, just imagine by yourself whether at that time anger is present or not, whether greed is present or not, whether envy, jealousy, doubt, conceit, proud, the short and trouble are present or not at that time. Even illusion and delusion are present or not at that time. If we think about that, then we can definitely ensure no, at that time these defilements are not present at that moment when we are developing the good mindfulness. So yogis, meditators, you yourself can experience by your own practice the protection of the mind, the cleanliness of the mind. Not only while we are observing rising and falling, but Also, while observing mental objects, thinking and thoughts, and the sensations arising in different parts of the body. At that time also, if mindfulness is present, if we are observing those objects, if mind is penetrating into the object, at that time also mind is free from those kilesas. And walking also, while we are observing the movements of the legs, not only in sitting and walking, in our daily activities also. Maybe while we are eating, if we are eating mindfully. Maybe while drinking water, if drinking mindfully. Whatever we are doing in our daily life, daily activities, at that time also, if we are observing those activities mindfully, if mindfulness is present, at that time there is no chance to arise the kilesas. Mind is safe and protected. So in this way, the mindfulness protects our mind from the disturbance or from the attack of the kilesas. Mindfulness is not just protecting, not just protecting, not guarding alone, but it is also defend. It also defends. Like when the kilesas are about to arise, like when anger, greed, conceit, proud, these kilesas are about to arise, then it defends. Like doorkeeper defends when useless or destructive people are about to enter. He or she defends, blocks, or the clocks, prohibits. Similarly, the mindfulness defends or the blocks, the kilesas, not allowing, not admitting to arise in our mind stream. In this way, mindfulness protects and defends or the blocks as well. So protecting is called arakha. Blocking or defending is called avarana in Pali. So sati, mindfulness, protects also and defends also, so that our mind remains safe and protected. So not only arakha, avarana, there are still more functions of the sati, like keeping the mind free from defilement, that is called vimukti or the mukti in Pali, keeping the mind and the calm. So what is called shanti in Pali. So there are still extra functions of the mindfulness. We will talk more about the mindfulness in next talk. So the time is already up, so that's why we will conclude for today. So by knowing the nature, the function or manifestation of the mindfulness, the sati, what we need to do is, sati is such a good mentality which can protect our mind, which can keep free our mind from kilesas, so that our mind remains protected, safe, not disturbed by the kilesas. So cleanliness or purification is there at that time when mindfulness is present. And practicing the Dhamma or practicing the meditation is the objective of the practicing is to purify our mind. And by purifying our mind is to free from sufferings. So that's why may you able to develop the mindfulness always, especially when you are practicing meditation also while you are doing your daily activities as well. May you able to keep your mind protected, clean, safe, and may you able to be free from sufferings. Me punyang
Idang me punyang
asawakayawahang
asawakayawahang
hotu
hontu
idam me punyang
idang me punyang
nibbanasa
nibbanasa
pacayo
pacayo
hotu
hotu
imang no
imang no
punya bagang
punya bagang
sabasatanang
sabasatanang
vibhazema
vibhazema
sabesata
sabesata
imang punya bagang
imang punya bagang
labedwa
labedwa
sukhita
sukhita
bhavantu.
bhavantu
Sadhu,
sadhu
sadhu.
sadhu. Thanks, Bante. Thank you so much.
Okay, may you all be always able to keep practicing meditation, be always happy and be free from sufferings.